Coming up, we explore Hogsmeade at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Hello everyone, it's David here from Beyond the Kingdoms, and today we are taking one last look at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter over at Universal Orlando Resort. A complete tour exploring Hogsmeade inside Islands of Adventure. If you missed it, check out the previous episode in this series exploring Diagon Alley, where you'll come face to face with a dragon and get all the supplies you need before boarding the Hogwarts Express to school. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and make sure you follow Beyond the Kingdoms across all social media platforms. But we've got lots to cover today, so let's not waste any more time and jump right in. Now that we all have our robes and school supplies and have arrived here to the premier school of witchcraft and wizardry, it's time to improve our skills as wizards. And the perfect way to start is with a special lesson over at Hagrids. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is a thrilling, high-speed story coaster that takes us into the Forbidden Forest to meet and learn about magical creatures, of course. The story here is that Hagrid is teamed up with Arthur Weasley to teach his Care for Magical Creatures lesson. Remember that motorbike that Hagrid used to first take Harry to his house in Surrey? Well, Arthur is here to help duplicate the bike with a unique spell, so that we can all join Hagrid on the motorbikes through the forest. Once on board, you'll see dozens of creatures. Fluffy the three-headed dog, Cornish pixies, centaurs, and if you're lucky, you may get the rare chance to see a unicorn up close. Without giving away all the good details, I will say this. It's a fast-paced attraction with so many elements that it will blow your mind. It launches you from 0 to 50 miles per hour in seconds, takes you on hairpin turns, and even travels backwards. And wait till you see what happens when you get tangled in some devil's snare. Never have I seen a roller coaster attraction tell a story. It's so much fun. The first time you ride, you'll be overwhelmed with all of the creatures to see as you fly past through the forest. It's definitely an attraction that requires more than one ride, and without a doubt, Universal's best attraction at the moment. But like with any popular new ride, Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure is extremely popular, and it sees very long wait times. And at the moment, it doesn't offer Universal Express Pass, but I think that may change soon once the attraction reaches its 1-year anniversary this June. While it is a fantastic ride, this coaster has seen some pretty rough PR. When it first opened, lines reached a 10-hour wait due to multiple breakdowns. And even now, it's not uncommon to see this ride have a delayed opening time. When I experienced this just this past December, team members had to wait a couple of hours to open because temperatures dropped and the track was too cold to run the cars. so there's always a mixture of reasons why it gets a delayed opening. While rope dropping the park and heading straight here is a good idea, I've actually had better luck getting on in the middle of the day, after the morning rush has died and the ride is up and running without any problems. So if you rope drop and you see that there's a delayed opening, enjoy the rest of Hogsmeade with virtually no crowds and come back to Hagrids later. It will be a long wait, but it'll save you endless hours standing in line. And also keep in mind that there's a single rider line here. So if you want to ride it more than once, this is a good option to do after your first time experiencing it with your friends. Now, if speeding through the forest at 50 miles per hour is a little too intense for you or the little ones, just cross the path on the opposite side of Hagrid's hut for Flight of the Hippogriff. This is where you'll get to see Buckbeak up close and ride your own Hippogriff in the forest, just like Harry did in Prisoner of Azkaban. You'll actually enjoy some really great views of the castle on this attraction as well. Flight of the Hippogriff is a fun warm-up if your little one is not used to roller coasters. Universal is packed with the thrill rides, so if you're unsure of how your kids are going to handle them, this is a good first step coaster to try. It's on the short side and it doesn't feature any really big drops, but it does reach some good speed of 28 miles per hour. It's a fun little lesson for young wizards who are not quite ready for the motorbikes. Now, something I didn't get to talk about much in my last episode are the interactive wands, where you can hone in on your spell skills. Hogsmeade is home to the first Ollivanders Shop to open in the wizarding world. You'll experience a very similar show to what is seen over at Diagon Alley. Here in Hogsmeade, the Owl Post after the Ollivanders experience doubles as a store to purchase your own wand. But this location is extremely small, so it's much better to do this at the other park. When in doubt, look for a gold medallion on the floor that corresponds with the location on your map. And I find the more challenging ones to be here in Hogsmeade, so start off easy in Diagon Alley. The trick to casting a good spell is clear and sharp movements, but keep it small. If you flail your arms too much and go way too big, your spell may not work. And if you have trouble, look for an experienced wizard nearby. Universal has team members roaming these locations specifically to help out those who are struggling. Now, if all of the school lessons have worn you out and you're tired of listening to the lectures, it may be time for a school break to go shopping in Hogsmeade. But before we do that, we have to go to Filch's Emporium at the base of the castle to pick up some confiscated items he took from us. This store is located at the exit of Forbidden Journey, and it features a big range of products. There's a little bit of everything from Hogwarts Express merchandise, t-shirts, unique collector items, and more. But I find this store to be the most crowded of them all and most difficult to really take your time and browse the merchandise. The only time I think it's good to go shopping here is if you rope drop the park and ride Forbidden Journey first. Crowds will still be over at Hagrids. But a true Potter collector will find some great gems. Let's now sneak on over to Hogsmeade for some more goodies. Ah, Honeydukes. There is no better place to enjoy sweet treats in the wizarding world. They've got everything here. You can enjoy some classic lollipops, pumpkin pasties, and one of my favorite items, the exploding bonbons. But the two most iconic sweet treats are here as well. First, we have the every flavor beans as first seen in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And yes, they mean every flavor. If you're lucky, you'll enjoy classic flavors like chocolate or strawberry and lemon. But be careful, there really are flavors like dirt, earwax, and vomit. So me, I prefer the chocolate frogs. These huge chunks of milk chocolate are shaped like frogs, and of course, inside you'll find a collector's card of a famous wizard. But if you're a real collector, consider getting the souvenir tin version. You'll get the same chocolate frog inside, but inside are 5 wizard cards, each of the founders of the 4 houses of Hogwarts and Dumbledore. I know it's really tempting to go through all of the candy in here, but don't worry, I'll cover my favorite treats in the Wizarding World in my next Foodie Friday video. So let's move on to another store. Dervish and Banks is located just across the street and adjacent to Hagrid's motorbike entrance. It's actually connected to the Owl Post. This is where you'll find some Quidditch gear, broomsticks, and the Quibbler. If you didn't have time to go shopping for robes at Madame Malkin's, you can get them here as well, along with some fun Quidditch t-shirts. I discovered that you can get these embroidered here at this shop as well. It's not cheap, but if you want a shirt just like Harry's or Cedric's, you can get a house t-shirt for $40 and have your name put on it for an additional $20. It's a little steep if you ask me, but the big fans will definitely do it. I also like the little shopping cart just outside Dervish and Banks as well. They sell some really cool journals that look like the classic textbooks in the film. But here's an extra tip. Keep your eyes peeled around this mail cart. My husband found a hidden bracelet in here, intentionally left by the Universal team members. So those fans with a really keen eye and the ability to just slow down and take in the details may find a special free souvenir on your trip to Hogsmeade. Just a few steps in front of the castle and on the outskirts of Hogsmeade Village, you'll find a small stage setup for some entertaining daytime shows that all will enjoy. One of them being the Tri-Wizard Spirit Rally. Eternal glory, that's what awaits the student who wins the Tri-Wizard tournament. As seen in the 4th film, The Goblet of Fire, 2 different foreign schools visit Hogwarts to compete in the dangerous events that are part of the Tri-Wizard tournament. And the Spirit Rally is a fun way to see some of these characters and support your favorite schools. There are of course the fluttering and elegant ladies from Beauxbaton's Academy of Magic, and the more intimidating men from Durmstrang Institute. It's a fun little show that takes place several times a day on this stage. Exact times will vary based on the day you visit, but usually performances take place every hour from about 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., alternating performances with the Frog Choir. If you're into more of the musical acts, then this a cappella group is the one for you. It's actually one of my favorite shows to see here at Hogwarts. 4 students, each representing the 4 houses of Hogwarts, come out with their pet frogs and sing some fun wizard-inspired songs for the muggles visiting the village. During the holiday season, the group swaps songs out for classic holiday tunes as well. Both this and the Tri-Wizard Spirit Rally are some fun shows to watch with the little ones as the bigger kids go on the thrill rides. And after each show, the performers will pose for some pictures with their guests. After all of those school lessons and a round of shopping and shows, you may have worked up a little bit of an appetite. And there is one main dining location here at Hogsmeade, the 3 Broomsticks. This wizard pub is at the heart of the village next to Honeydukes and across Hagrid's motorbike adventure. Now you may recognize this restaurant because it was featured in the 6th film, The Half-Blood Prince. Believe it or not, this was the first time we actually saw Harry and his friends enjoy a cup of butterbeer in the films. Of the 2 quick service restaurants in the Wizarding World, the other being the Leaky Cauldron in Diagon Alley, I think the 3 Broomsticks is the weaker of the 2. but at times I think I might be alone on this opinion. The Three Broomsticks is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At breakfast time, you'll see almost the same menu as the Leaky Cauldron, with a variety of classic British and American dishes. Lunch and dinner features things like fish and chips and shepherd's pie. However, it lacks some of my favorites like the bangers and mash. The main selling point here at the Three Broomsticks is the Great Feast Platter. It starts with a large garden salad and paired with a huge platter of rotisserie chicken, spare ribs, corn on the cob, and roasted potatoes. It's priced at $60.99 for 4 people, and it will definitely fill the bellies of a family. But if I can be frank, I think the quality is just okay. And some of these items can be found at other locations around Universal, so the menu is nothing special. However, a stop at the adjacent Hogsheade pub is a must. This is the only bar and watering hole in Hogsmeade, and here you'll find almost everything. Butterbeer in all forms, pumpkin juice, and alcoholic beverages for the older wizards. Now there are 2 drinks that are really worth getting here. One is the pumpkin fizz. This one is non-alcoholic so everyone can enjoy it, and it's the only place you'll find it. It takes the traditional pumpkin juice up a notch in that it's a carbonated version, and I think the extra bubbles are really refreshing on a hot Florida day. The second drink I want to highlight is the Hogsheade Brew. Again, only found here. This is a Scottish ale with a bright red color to it, and more refreshing than most ales. It's not too bitter and actually quite light. Something unique about Hogsheade is that it's given birth to some secret menu offerings that only a select few will know how to order. But I'm gonna save some of these little tricks for that Foodie Friday video next week. Let's just say you can order some really interesting mixes here that are excellent. And finally, we arrive at Hogwarts Castle, the most beautiful sight you'll see on your trip to Hogsmeade. Inside this stoic structure, you'll experience the Wizarding World's first and most beloved attraction, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. The story of this ride is not part of the books or films. It's a unique side story that puts you at the center. But if I were to guess where it falls in the timeline, it would be somewhere in between book 5 and 6, judging by Harry's physical appearance, the fact that Dumbledore is still alive, and the fact that Ron doesn't join the Gryffindor Quidditch team until year 5. Although in the films we don't see him on the team until Half-Blood Prince. But I'm getting sidetracked. The queue experience for Forbidden Journey is just as fun as the ride. So even if you have little ones that are too short to ride, I would still go on this tour of Hogwarts Castle. You'll relive classic scenes at every turn. And from here, you're in for a thrilling ride out of the castle to the Quidditch pitch with Ron and Harry. Just make sure you watch out for that dragon. Of all the Potter attractions here at Universal, this is the middle ground when it comes to thrill. If you have an issue with motion sickness, you may want to sit this one out. The benches will really toss you around as it travels through the Forbidden Forest, comes face to face with Dementors, and flies over the Great Lake. But it's not quite as intimidating as Hagrid's motorbike adventure. But I will warn you that you should put everything you have in your pockets in a locker. It's very easy for small items to just fall right out. And the good news is that thanks to the new roller coaster, wait times at Forbidden Journey have dramatically improved, so it's well worth doing more than once. As the sun sets, we come to the end of our day at Hogsmeade Village, sadly. But before it's time to leave, there's just one more show that you must see: the nighttime lights at Hogwarts Castle. Almost every night of the year, a special projection show takes place on the castle itself, celebrating the 4 houses of the iconic wizard school. But something new over the past few years is that the show changes throughout the seasons. Back in 2019, Universal debuted a spooky version of this show to coincide with the Halloween season, The Dark Arts at Hogwarts Castle. But one of my favorite renditions is the holiday version during the months of November and December. The magic of Christmas at Hogwarts is a beautiful display of snow scenes and fun on the castle. The various projection shows on Hogwarts Castle start at around sundown and perform several times a night depending on the park closing time. On a recent visit when the park closed early at 7, there were only 2 showings at 6:30 and 7 o'clock. So make sure you plan accordingly when you visit and double check with team members on the first showtime. In terms of where to watch the show, the best spot in my opinion is on the small bridge that connects Hogsmeade to Jurassic Park. If you get easily overwhelmed with large crowds, this is the best place to be. So there you have it, my Muggle friends, a complete tour of exploring the wizarding world of Harry Potter at Islands of Adventure. If you missed it, check out my previous video in this series, exploring Diagon Alley at Universal Studios Florida. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, making a day trip to Universal is well worth your time, so that you can live out your wizard dreams along Harry and his friends. While this brings us close to the end of my Harry Potter coverage on the channel, stay tuned next week for one more Foodie Friday video, showcasing my favorite treats and beverages in the wizarding world. It's a great follow-up to my butterbeer episode. But guys, that will certainly have to do it for today. Like always, thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.